It's time for the Justice Files. Joining me tonight, criminal defense attorney Ken Padowitz and former prosecutor and host of Judge Faith Jenkins. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
We start tonight with the murder charges against two police officers in New Mexico. A prosecutor filed the charges against these two officers who shot and killed a homeless man in Albuquerque last spring. Authorities say the man was mentally ill and holding two small knives. The incident was captured on police video, and we warn you, the video is graphic.
You said we were walking out of here, now you're bringing up assault and everybody's gonna get hurt again? All right, don't change up your agreement. I'm gonna try to walk with you. All right. I love folks, don't try to harm them. Keep your word. I can keep you safe. All right? Don't worry about safety. I'm not a murderer. All right? Try to harm you. Try to harm you. All right? Do it. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
The video that follows is too disturbing to show. As police release a dog on the man's body. The lawyer for one of the officers called the charges not justified. The lawyer for the other says they're ashamed. You know, much of the same thing there from both lawyers. I guess have different takes on this murder charge. Faith, let's start with you.
Well, when you look at this case, look at the context of what's been going on with the Albuquerque Police Department. This is one of the police departments that the Justice Department decided to investigate because of all the allegations of excessive use of force by the police. And last year, Rev, in April, the Justice Department released its findings of this police department and said that they did use excessive force and sometimes fatal force all too often, and that there was a complete lack of training among the police force in terms of when these officers were deciding to use deadly force. In this case, the prosecutor decided not to go before a grand jury. She decided to file an information. It's just like what Angela Corey did down in Florida with the George Zimmerman case and Trayvon Martin. Just skip the grand jury altogether, decide to file an information based on this video and their investigation. They decided that murder charges were warranted. And I'm sure in the backdrop of what happened in New York with the Eric Garner case and there being video and still no true bill, no indictment in the case, the prosecutor decided the best move was for her to move forward on her own.
But Ken, you think this is more of a cop-out?
Well, there's another take to this, too. Everything that she just said was correct. Faith is correct. However, another way to look at this is that most of the time when a prosecutor presents a case to the grand jury, there is an indictment. And in fact, if there is not an indictment, it's usually because the prosecutor led the grand jury to not indicting. So in this instance, instead of taking responsibility and bringing it to the grand jury and getting an indictment, another way to look at it is the prosecutor did an open charge, and it goes now before a judge in a special hearing, and at the hearing, the judge now has the responsibility to find whether there's probable cause or not to charge the officers and then lay it over for trial. So if this judge decides there's not probable cause, there will be no further trial for these officers. So that is a possibility in this case. There may not be a trial, depending on what happens at this hearing.
All right, we will stay on top of this, I assure you. Now to a new arrest of George Zimmerman. Police arrested him late Friday night and charged him with aggravated assault for allegedly throwing a wine bottle at his girlfriend. He's now out of jail on bond. In 2013, Zimmerman was acquitted of second-degree murder and manslaughter in the death of Trayvon Martin. Since then, he's dealt with police several times. In November 2013, his then-girlfriend said he pointed a gun in her face, smashed her coffee table, and pushed her out of the house. No charges were filed. A few months earlier, his ex-wife said he threatened her with a gun and said he punched her father. No charges were filed. This weekend, Zimmerman's lawyer was asked why his client keeps having run-ins with police.
I don't like to speculate about emotional things either. It's clear he hasn't been very lucky with the ladies the last few months. But beyond that, no, I don't have a comment.
Zimmerman filed a defamation suit against NBC News, but a judge dismissed that claim last summer. He has since appealed the decision. Ken, your reaction?
Well, my reaction, first of all, is disgust. You know, after 3 arrests for domestic violence, what we get from Mr. Don West is a joke. You know, thousands of women are killed or beaten or badly injured in domestic violence cases in this country. And to make a joke about a 3rd arrest for a client not being lucky with the ladies, I find that offensive, and maybe Mr. West should look into another line of work. As for Mr. Zimmerman, this is now the 3rd time he's being arrested. And we're going to see if the process plays out this time and if, in fact, there's going to be a trial to determine whether or not he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Faith, it seems in all of these incidents, it deals with some violence and guns.
Well, I mean, listen, George Zimmerman keeps having to defend himself from women and children, apparently. This is actually the 4th domestic violence case against him, and he has killed a teenager. So this is someone who's had repeated contacts with the law. He has a pattern, and patterns about people don't lie. Unfortunately, you know, this is one of those cases where this young woman who's involved has already said she doesn't want to go forward or press any charges, but when the police stopped her, she was so distraught, she did give a statement, and they did take her statement, and she told what happened. Now, George Zimmerman has already said she is the one that threw the wine bottle at him. It was the other way around. He is always having to defend himself against these women who apparently, according to him, keep making up things to try to get him in trouble.
So, again, if the young lady says, Ken, that she doesn't want to go forward, will these charges be dropped as we've seen before?
Well, that's a very good point.
I just need a quick answer.
The quick answer is no. If the victim doesn't want to go forward and the state can't get her to go forward, they're not going to have a case and the charges will be dropped again.
Ken and Faith, thank you for your time tonight.
Thanks, Brad.